we don't need roads.
Ladies, good to see you both again. Seriously, this show is genuinely phenomenal. So seriously, thank you for taking the time to chat with me.
Awesome. Thank
Our
you.
pleasure.
Yeah, I'm going to jump into this. Obviously the conditions that took place in New Orleans in that hospital during Katrina, it's conditions that most of us could never imagine. So I'm curious, when you sign up for a show like this, you're kind of signing up to work in, at the very least, a close recreation of those conditions for weeks or for months. So before you sign on, before you, I guess, put pen to paper, do you have to ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Like, do I want to subject myself to this?
I did. I thought about that.
My husband would be laughing right now because it's yes, absolutely. Yes. I know it's going to be an uphill climb for me emotionally. I knew that we were going to be on lockdown in Toronto. I was going to be away from my family, my comfort place. I couldn't hold my kids in my arms. And I knew it was going to be a dark headspace to take on. So yeah, there's a kind of a brace thinking, and there's a fear too. There's a huge responsibility playing a real life model, and also the responsibility of just getting it right, as an homage to everybody who went through it. Like our imaginations, like you said this yesterday, so we hit the ceiling, of our imaginations, and we did the best that we could. We can't even pretend to understand what that might have been like, but we did our best to convey it.
Miss Jones, take me to the moment before you put pen to paper. Take me to that. You said that you had to ask yourself what made you end up signing your signature on the contract.
Well, I knew I was going to sign my signature, but I did think about what it was going to entail, and how important it was, more important that summer that we began than it had been when John and Carlton wrote it right before the pandemic began. So it had grown in importance exponentially, and to do anything that honors our healthcare workers and also portrays the incredible dilemmas that they were going through during COVID. I'm sure there were things that from this series that were repeated in different circumstances, where people had to make life and death decisions like that.
You're absolutely right. And that actually leads perfectly into my next question, because I feel like everyone who watches this series is going to have an opinion about these people and what they did and what happened, the decisions they made. Everyone's going to sit in their living rooms and to some degree be judging them, whether they should or not. And so I'm curious, how dangerous is judgment as an actor? Like, are you allowed to judge characters that you're playing?
I no, you're not. No. You've got to portray them, in the vulnerabilities, the strengths, the weaknesses, the fortes, every aspect of their beings, psychically, emotionally, physically, mentally, intellectually, skillfully, spiritually, which was an awesome opportunity for me to explore. You don't often get that component in a characterization. There is idea, it wasn't about judging, did she play God? It was about investigating her relationship with her concept of God and how that played into her decision-making and her strength and how that fortified her, or what she relied on, how that relationship grew during the aftermath of Katrina, but also the following couple of years when she really, and she talks about this. I don't want to speak for her, but I've read a lot of her interviews where she talks about how meaningful and how honed that became when she went through some of the darkest times after her arrest, and what got her through it.
They're giving me the wrap with Ms. Jones. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well.
Honestly, I have nothing but great respect for my character.
Well, each of you just absolutely, it's just phenomenal. Your work is phenomenal, as it always is. And so thank you for always doing such incredible work. It makes my job easy. So I love both of you. So seriously, thank you for taking the time. You guys are great.
Thank you so much for watching.
Have a wonderful day. Of course. Have a great day.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.